What happens if you're deactivated as a DoorDash dasher? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over 7 ways that you might be actually deactivated and one that affected me personally. Now, one that's really brand new to 2021 and maybe even a few that you're not even aware of. Now, stay to the end of the video because I'm going to mention that if you've been deactivated or if you're worried about deactivation or if you're facing deactivation, I'm going to mention why I don't think it's really a big deal. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. On this channel, I help you with the gig economy, your side hustle, your full-time hustle, making money and creating multiple revenue streams. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. And if you haven't done so already, check out my Amazon storefront linked down below in the description so you can get the best time-saving accessories for your hustle. You might be surprised that there's actually more than 7 ways to get deactivated from DoorDash. But I really pulled, in my opinion, 7 of the most important, really most standout policies here straight from DoorDash's terms of service. And these aren't really in any particular order here. So let's get into number 1. Number 1 is your DoorDash dasher rating a 4.2 or lower. So what can result in getting a lower driver rating? Because in my opinion, you really should be at 4.89 or higher, or really ideally 4.9 or higher. But when it comes to your actual ratings, if you have a bad customer service, if you're not presenting the food nicely, maybe you spill something, or you're not really paying attention to any customer notes in there, then you might get docked and rated lower as a driver. In my opinion, if you're really at that 4.4, let's say 4.3, or in this case again, 4.2 or lower, you are actually noticeably doing something wrong on the platform. So what I would do, if you're not subscribed here already, I would invite you to subscribe. We do have an entire playlist on driving for DoorDash. Number 2, your completion rate must be at least 80% or higher. So if you didn't know, you have different ratings, of course, as a DoorDash dasher. We talked about the driver rating. And then there's a acceptance rating, the percent of times that you accept a prospective order. Now the completion rate, that's a little bit different. It's just that. It's the percent of times that you've actually accepted an order and the percent of times that you've completed that order. So if you're in essence canceling 20% or more of those accepted runs, well, again, you're doing something wrong and you may face deactivation. From my experience driving 1,600 completed deliveries over several years, there's really not many scenarios where you would need to cancel. Let's say maybe an emergency on the road or a family emergency, something came up, flat tire, what have you, and then you can cancel those one-off orders. But again, you shouldn't be canceling more than 20% of the runs you've already committed to completing. Now, our third example, this one is one of the ones that's really new to this year, here in 2021. So late in really 2020, Q3 or Q4 in 2020, dashers started seeing this, contract violations. So a contract violation, basically a flag on your account, it's a quality flag. It's really for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's extreme lateness, or number 2, the customer claimed the order never arrived. So let's explain this a little bit, exactly what happens to your driver account. So number 1, the extreme lateness, this is when you're either 10 minutes late to the pickup or the drop-off location. Again, that's a 10-minute window. So if you've been multi-apping, if you've been driving on 2 different apps at the same time, let's say I'm accepting a run on Uber Eats and I'm going to pick up that order, and then on the way I'm still online with a DoorDash, and I accept a DoorDash run and I'll think, okay, well, I'll just get this after that Uber Eats run, right? That's going to take too long as you complete that Uber Eats run. That's going to cause you to be late, and most likely you'll get a contract violation for the extreme lateness on that DoorDash pickup. Now, DoorDash does say they have algorithms in place to predict things like traffic, but I have heard from drivers that this system is imperfect, that they're getting contract violations for extreme lateness. Again, either the arrival or the drop-off location. Now, as far as the threshold, as far as how many of those violations can you get to be deactivated, we really don't know at the time of filming this video. I've seen drivers that had 2, 3, 5 contract violations, and they haven't been deactivated, but keep in mind, this is something you can be deactivated for. And then nextly, really a potential problem with your dasher account is if the customer claims the order never arrived. Now with this one, I would especially be mindful of, let's say, contactless deliveries. So typically, of course, we need to take a picture to confirm that delivery. But let's say the customer actually meets you at the door there. Now you can change the drop-off option to handed to customer. But if it's contactless or if it's handoff to customer, I would be especially careful here this year in 2021 and really document and maybe even over document that you actually made the delivery. So now, even though it might be a false claim, or maybe it is a valid claim that the customer never received the order, this can result in one of those contract violations. And nextly, providing information that is fraudulent or inaccurate. Now for this one, I want to read from the actual terms of service here because there's one sentence I want you to pay attention to. So for this one, DoorDash states misrepresenting information during signup, giving false information to the support team during dashes, creating multiple accounts for the same individual, using the same phone number as an account already in use, or failing to accurately identify the mode of transportation being used to perform dashes. I just wanted to draw your attention to really that last sentence there. It's failing to accurately identify the mode of transportation being used to perform dashes. I mentioned that because I've seen in forums, drivers trying to really hack the system here and either get more information on an order and or really getting their ideal order. So if you're driving a vehicle, right? If you're using a vehicle, don't mark obviously scooter, motorcycle, what have you. And then nextly, the one that frustratingly affected my personal account here, it's manipulating the referrals system or promotions. So really years ago, it was the norm for anyone across socials to post their affiliate links really anywhere on social media pages, websites, here on YouTube, etc., and even forums like mentioned before. Well, here in 2021, you can no longer do so. So I just want to warn you here, and again, this affected my own account here, is you can no longer post any kind of affiliate links, really again, across any of those mediums. So social media, forums, message boards, again, any place across the web really. Nextly, another reason you might be deactivated from the DoorDash or Dasher platform is disclosing personal information without authorization. And another warning with this one. Another warning on this one, really again across the web here, if you're in Reddit threads, community boards, message boards, Facebook groups, or even here on YouTube, if there's a place where you can share those big, let's say payouts, right? The order requests, and it's exciting to share those big payouts, right? But if you're sharing the delivery screens, whenever you're making the delivery or the order request screen, and it gives enough personal information, let's say on the customer, right? As far as where they live, again, attached to their name. That is, of course, right here, means for deactivation. And then lastly, something that you might be surprised of that's actually happening on the back end and pretty much yearly, this is the failure to pass a background check. Now, of course, when you sign up, DoorDash and really all of these apps, they run the background check. It's a federal, a state, a local, and a DMV background check. But you might be surprised, again, to find out that a lot of these companies actually rerun your background check sometimes annually. Speaking from experience, I first signed up, first app was Uber here in Pittsburgh in 2015. And I drove for years, eventually moved to San Diego, and then really there I was deactivated on the Uber platform. I had since added other apps, of course, but I was deactivated for a ticket that was apparently fine years ago and the years since, but then I was deactivated. And funny enough, I was actually reactivated later on the Uber platform. So keep that in mind. If there's something that was maybe on your account, a ticket, what have you, and you signed up and you initially passed, that's fine. But just know these companies do sometimes rerun the background check, so you might never know for sure. Okay, so if you're worried about deactivation, if you're facing deactivation, or if you've been deactivated, now there's really no one size fits all, of course, but in my opinion, I want to give you one insight on why this might not be a big deal. If you're active right now, if you're a current Dasher or really active on any platform, here's what I want you to do. It's the goal of this channel is, like I mentioned, to build multiple revenue streams. Like most anything, when it comes to your income, I don't want you to put really all your eggs in one basket. So I don't want you to invest all of your income potential in just DoorDash. So let's say if you lose DoorDash, or if you lose Uber, if you lose Uber Eats, whatever it is, it can be a, let's say, a smaller hit to your income or your side hustle, or yes, even your full-time hustle. But I want you to have other revenue streams as well, really as an umbrella for your income. This could be investing. This could be affiliate income, which is fantastic. It's really as passive as you can get. This could be selling courses if you have a skill that you can teach. This can be other apps. This can be a full-time job. This can be starting a business, etc. But what I don't want you to do is, especially, let's say, purchasing a new vehicle just to do DoorDash, or just sign up for DoorDash. Because I've seen it since 2015. These apps change. The rates change as far as pay. The policies change. Or again, something like what happened to me, something can't affect your account. So if you haven't done so already, I would start building those income streams. And I understand it does not happen overnight. It absolutely does not happen overnight. But over the months, over the years, you can start scaling those income streams. The affiliate income, the courses, if you start something here on YouTube, if you build that business, if you plant the seed now, then you can really reap the rewards and the income later. So I wanted to let you know about these policies, especially now as some of these are new and hopefully some of these aren't necessarily a surprise, but I did want to let you know. So let me know, number one, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns about the terms of service or the deactivation policies, really for DoorDash or any other apps, let us know down below in the comments. If you got value in this video, definitely drop me a like. And you can also click or tap the screen here for my most recent video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.